Are you ready to be that bitch? I'm like, of fucking course you are. Welcome to the show with real stories from women who chose their highest vision and never fucking looked back. That bitch didn't happen overnight, but she was always on her fucking way. Okay, welcome to the That Bitch podcast and welcome to another episode. I am super excited to come forward with my belief systems that I have had to adopt and I've had to embody in order to get to the point in my life where I'm at. So for those of you who don't know, maybe this is your first episode that you're listening. I am somebody who last year in my business, I was able to build a business that hit about $500,000 in cash. With about 1,000 followers online. Previous to that, I had a brand of 46,000. I was making six figures a year, but I went from $150,000 a year to a $500,000 cash year. I opened up a secondary business. We hit six figures in 7 days. Last year, I traveled 14 times alone. I went to Europe for the first time, visited 3 different countries, took 2 different trips out there. We were all over the place. It's been crazy. This year, now where we're at, we just got a new puppy because my other puppy, my soul dog, passed away in the fall, and your girl and her other little baby sausage burrito that's on the floor with her right now was depressed as fuck. So we just got a puppy, so we're not traveling as much. Now we're contemplating selling our house and buying a different home, moving states maybe. I don't fucking know. I bought my dream cars last year. Like all of these things have happened in when you really look at it, a pretty radically short period of time. I had my first spiritual awakening in 2020, and that's what really started to shift everything for me. Prior to me becoming that bitch, I was a bitch, a baby bitch, a victim baby bitch, a broke baby bitch, okay? I literally was a woe-is-me miserable fucking cunt. There's no other way for me to say it. I often found myself, I can see it retroactively. I didn't know this about myself, obviously, in the moment, but I can now connect all the fucking dots and see it all. I used to be the person in friend groups where I totally got off to people pitying me because things weren't going my way. So I was literally the girl that was like, oh, woe is me. Like in college, oh, woe is me. My mom just called me and she said she can't help pay my rent. Now I need to figure out how I'm going to make an additional $250 this month. And like for a college kid at that time, that was a lot of fucking money. Oh, woe is me. I just totaled my car. And like to the point where my mom literally at that, like that's how much I gave that energy off, that my mom literally said to the police officer when I totaled my car, nothing works out for Kim. Like literally broke bitch mindset to the point where graduated college. It was the '08 recession. A lot of people experienced what I experienced, could not find a job for the life of me. So I went and I nannied, and I was very woe is me. I was very much like, oh my God, this is terrible. My childhood sucks. So I was very much like, oh my God, this is fucking terrible. I couldn't find a job, and I was like, oh my God, it means that my life is going to be forever over. I'm destined to be a broke fucking bitch, instead of recognizing it was just a moment in time. It was the economy. It was the where I was at. Like this wasn't going to go on forever, you dumb fuck. But I could not see that. I could not see that until I had my first spiritual awakening. My first spiritual awakening came on the heels of having to lay myself off in COVID, during COVID. When I had to lay myself off, I had the biggest moment of my life asking myself the deepest question of who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? And that's such a hard question to ask to people who don't know who the fuck they are, who don't have strong self-concepts, for people who have experienced a lot of trauma in their life and genuinely are just chameleons and morph into whoever they need to be loved, to have friends, to whatever. I could not answer that. I was like, well, if I'm not this person, if I'm not this director of the school and people know me this way, if I'm not this connections coordinator, if I'm not this woman who's like, blah, 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 then who am I? And it was like, honestly, the hardest moment probably in my entire life. Oh my God, I was so depressed. I was crying like every fucking day. Literally would drive to different places to just go sit in nature for hours. I'm talking hours, hours upon hours. And that helped, but it didn't really help either. Like it was great from the perspective of like being with nature and being with God, really, is the way that I looked at it. But that wasn't actually moving the needle for me. And so I started seeking support and seeking other individuals to just get insight. And at the same time, I was reading everything I could get my hands on about your purpose, your life path, finding what like fulfills you, what brings you joy. I started understanding deeper. I had a deeper understanding of energetics, and I started like reading into that and recognizing that I was a complete empath. from the trauma that I experienced, my hypervigilance, all of that, in addition to the fact that in human design, which is like another system of astrology, let's just say, um, in human design, I'm a 1-3 human design reflector. So reflectors are literally 1% of the population. We are insanely energetically sensitive. I feel like I can read people's minds sometimes. It's actually quite scary. Um, Especially like my husband and I, we've been together for so long that literally I'll say the thing that he's about to say before he says it, and we haven't even talked about anything. And it's like, he's like, how the fuck are you in my head? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm in your head. Literally, like, it is just it's this energetic component. Anyway, so I started reading about all of this and understanding what really is going on here, at least from my awareness. Now, obviously, none of this is fucking fact. This is just my belief systems. Like them, don't like them, hate them, fucking borrow them. I don't care what you do, but, I'm just dropping them like it's hot right now. It was this realization that it was like, oh my God, like, I read a book series that I literally highly recommend to everybody. I think everybody on the face of the planet needs to read this book series called Conversations with God. I know this is an unpopular opinion. I don't really think that you need to read some religious undertone text. I think you need to read Conversations with God. That series changed my entire fucking life. Then I went from Conversations with God to different spiritual teachers that I started studying and reading from and immersing myself into them. And my brain is fried right at the moment. I'm literally looking at my bookshelf and I'm like, oh, like, yeah, Dr. Joe Dispenza, Joe Dispenza, the Eckhart Tolle. Why can't I think of this one guy's name? I'm literally looking at my shelf like, oh, Wayne Dyer, duh, Wayne fucking Dyer. And then I have one more behind me, Ram Dass, like literally all of these spiritual teachers from forever ago. Then I started realizing that I was like literally listening to a bunch of fucking men. And so I started finding female spiritual teachers and understanding their thought processes because they have a different interpretation. They experience life differently. I don't care what we fucking say on this planet. Men and women are so fucking drastically different. How we experience life, our hormones, what happens. It's just like night and day different. And so I started looking for like matriarchal type of individuals in the community, in the spiritual based community. And regardless, it doesn't really matter. What I learned to be true is very much that we are not put on this earth to suffer. Suffering happens, but that's not the intent. It's not to come here to hate your fucking life, to be a victim, to feel like you can't, like you don't have fucking control. It's to understand that everything in this planet is neutral. Good, bad, harsh, great, death, life, neutral. This deep understanding that the way that God perceives the actions, and here we are, like we have rules in society because we need rules in society to function, period, point blank. And that's not the way in which I understand the universe and God to function. It's very much so, you want to go do that? Okay, that's great. That's what you want to do. I don't have a feeling about that. You want to be wildly successful and make a lot of money? Okay, that's great. That's what you want to do. I don't have a feeling about that. You want to be a bum on a beach and not make $1 the rest of your life and be homeless? Okay, that's great. I don't really give a flying fuck. If that's what you want to do, you want to do. And it was this realization that in this moment that it's like, wait a minute, if God doesn't care about whether I'm suffering and God doesn't care about whether I'm rich, what's my choice here? If there is no meaning and connotation that is associated with being a broke bitch and being a rich bitch, then my entire, like the way that my husband and I talk about this is like we have a house of card of belief systems. And when you start to get to the deep foundation of those belief systems and you pull that one card, the whole house of cards comes down with it, right? And so these thought processes started to challenge those house of card base foundations where it pulled all of my belief systems out underneath the rug. And I started to realize how much I was living in this 3D world and living in this fucking meat suit, recognizing that if I can witness myself experiencing this meat suit, I'm not actually the meat suit. I'm in said meat suit. And so many people are going to be like, what the fuck, Kim? This is out there. This is wild. And also, I'm like, just fucking hear me out because it's changed my entire life and made me a lot of fucking money. And so for me, it was this recognition of like, okay, wait a minute. If we're just here playing and we can play into whatever story and whatever narrative we want to lean into, what would it look like if I started playing into the narrative that I got everything that I wanted? What would it look like if I started playing into the narrative that like I could have so much fun in my business and feel like I'm playing online and feel like I can't even believe I get to work with these types of people. I can't believe that I attract in this human or this human or this human. Like genuinely, if I get to choose that, why wouldn't I fucking choose that? Sounds like a fucking juicy day for me. And so it was this realization that I, one, had to consciously choose that. I had to like untangle the fact that no, I wasn't meant to be a fucking broke bitch loser for the rest of my life. That's not actually what God intended for me, even if those were the hands that I was, or I'm sorry, even if those were the cards that I was handed. You know, fuck that. You can still do whatever the fuck you want. That was point one. Spiritual belief number one. Spiritual belief number two is that God really loves me and God wants me to win. God wants me to have whatever the fuck I want. And the only thing that I need to anchor into is that I need to make sure that I'm seeing myself with the utmost respect, reverence, and love the way that God sees me. I cannot shame myself, cannot judge myself. I cannot make myself wrong for stupid shit. I cannot sit here and just continuously demonize myself or villainize myself or make myself the bad guy. I cannot listen to my inner critic. And now, this is a fine line because some narcissistic motherfucking hoes would really take this ideology and they'd run with it. They would say, well, I get to be this way. It doesn't matter. No, my moral compass is so fucking strong sometimes. It's too detrimental sometimes, right? So it's like, I also just want to say this. Like some people might say to me, this is dangerous rhetoric because if it gets in the hands of the wrong people, and I'm like, and if it gets in the hands of the right people, God, or would we change this whole fucking planet? Nuance, right? And so it was this aspect of like, where am I not seeing myself the way that God sees me? Where am I still shaming myself and judging myself? Where am I not accepting who I am today and saying that I'm more than enough now? That was another belief system that I had to anchor into, and that was work that I had to do to get to a point where I am that bitch now. Beyond that, I believe deeply in manifestation. Oh my God, do I believe deeply in manifestation? I have manifested some seriously wild fucking things. Like so much so, like stupid little things that come in all the time because I'm so not attached to it in any way, shape, or form. But like yesterday, I just so happened to give somebody a deep dive Monopoly analogy, metaphor for in a coaching conversation that I was having with a client. And my husband and I went to trivia night last night, and of course, Monopoly had to get named. We've gone to trivia every single night. Every single Wednesday, not every single night. LOL. We love going to trivia. We love expanding our brains. We love like, what is the answer? It's fun. We're old people. And every Wednesday when we go, like we've never had anything about board games or any of this, none of it. And it's like, of course that happened last night. And that's such a silly, stupid thing that even exists. But other things, like crazy things have happened where it's like, I've literally been driving in my car and I've thought to myself, I think I'm about to save a dog. I think I'm going to save a dog. And then literally 30 minutes later, there's a dog on the side of the road that needs to be saved. I've manifested clients. I've helped my clients manifest specific clients that they want to work with to the point where I will literally say to somebody, hey, what is the exact client that you want to work with? Call her out, name her. The edgy one, the one that you would be like, oh my God, I don't know if I can hold her. And she called that out and literally the next morning had a DM from that person who paid her immediately. I've manifested specific clients when they come into my DMs and I'm like, fuck, do you know I've been manifesting you specifically to come in? Without talking to that person, without having a conversation, without pitching them, without anything. Like you cannot convince me that manifestation isn't real. You cannot convince me that like attracts like, and not even like attracts like, that like who you are and what energy you're emulating is exactly what you're going to get back. It's exactly what you're going to get back. If you know without a shadow of a doubt that you're the bitch that makes 30K months, 40K months, 50K months, and you can actually hold that and you believe that, there's no doubt. Like my brain doesn't balk at that. My brain literally is like, oh yeah, we can make 30 to 50K months. What do you fucking do? We've done it for almost 2 years in a row, right? Like I have the evidence now, but I had to become a person who actually believed that to be true about herself. I had to give myself evidence by seeing it in all of these other individuals in the online space, witnessing what they were building and how they were building it, and recognizing that if it was available to them, it's available to me. And then I had to be it. I had to be the version of me that attracts that type of money in. The one who knows she deserves it, the one who sees her fucking value, the one who owns it, who will straighten her fucking spine, tits out, and say the goddamn thing to people. Own that truth that, like, yeah, I'm meant to be a fucking millionaire. Oh my God, yes. My work is meant to change people's lives. I am like such an empowered leader that, yes, I do believe every fucking woman should get next to me on this fucking planet. If you want to have better results in your business, in your life, if you want to literally look back at your life and say, what the fuck was that? That was the coolest thing I ever existed. Yeah, you should work with me. Right? And it's like that deep level of conviction and certainty and knowing you become it, you are it. And so therefore, things can't help but match you because of it. I had to actually believe that. And for a long period of time, I didn't believe it. For a long period of time, I was trying to make myself believe it. I was unpacking all the belief systems of like, money's hard to make and nobody's going to spend this amount of money because the whole world's fucking broke and everybody's in victimhood and nobody has time, da 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 da. And then I had to realize that there's like an entire population of individuals on this planet who literally could not be bothered with that narrative. That could not be fucking bothered by that narrative. Like, don't fucking come at me with that type of energy because that's not who I am and that's not who I'm available for. I understand that that's out there. And I think if we had more empowering conversations in a variety of different communities, I think things would shift. But we don't have the empowering conversation. Nobody fucking has the empowering conversation on this goddamn planet. And it's like if we actually said the thing and we were honest with people and direct with people because we loved them and we were good human beings, I think that we'd have a different state of being. If we empowered people to get their shit to fucking together and to say that this is your one fucking life, like what are you going to do with it? To know that you literally get to do anything. What skill set do you want to master? What brand do you want to build? What business do you want to create? How much money do you want to make? Where do you want to live? All of it's on the table. All of it's on the fucking table. And so that was like another belief system, a spiritual belief system that everything's on the fucking table. Everything's on the table for me. And it's like these belief systems that I look at it, that it's like, without a shadow of a fucking doubt, this is why I've been able to create what I've been able to create. I genuinely fully believe that if I did not have the level of faith that I have in myself and faith in an outside source who wants me to win just as much as I want to win, well-resourced to the point where I have, you have, we all have literally hundreds of thousands of souls and energy beings in other realms and other spaces that we can't even begin to comprehend, who are literally like cheering you on daily, who are moving things behind the scenes to orchestrate it for you so that you get everything you want. I would not be in the position that I'm in without all of that. Because I needed that belief system, that gumption, that knowing, that conviction that this is who we get to be. And this is how well-resourced and supported we are. Knowing that sometimes even when you want the damn thing and you don't get the damn thing, and then you start to question, are you meant to get that damn thing? It's like, sometimes God sees something for you that you can't fucking see. And so in this moment, you might be like, I really want this thing over here. I really want this thing over here. And if I got this thing over here, oh my God, it would be so amazing. And God's like, yeah, but if I give you that thing over here, then when I give you this other big thing, you might not even be able to receive said thing because you're so preoccupied over here. I heard somebody once talk about this in the form of like, it was Manifestation Babe years ago. And her podcast back in 2020, probably won't even be able to find it. But she talked about how this concept of, it's like, imagine God's driving the car and imagine you're in the back seat stomping your feet like a little kid. And you're like, God, I want my fucking chocolate cake right now. And God's like, no, because if you eat chocolate cake right now, you're going to get a stomach ache. And if you get a stomach ache, then where I'm taking you, which is going to be a chocolate city where you can have everything you fucking want. You can like eat the towers, you can eat the chairs, you can just like frolic around. You're going to get a tummy ache then, and you're not going to be able to actually do this. And so when we get there, you're going to be like, oh, I just ate this, I'm full, and this is what's actually coming for you. This is what's available to you. And when I heard that belief system, I literally was like, yeah, that's what this is. Sometimes God doesn't give you the thing that you want because he's going to give you something even better. He, she, whatever. They're going to give you something even better. God is going to give you something even better. But it's learning to hold these belief systems and not getting lost in the sauce of the 3D all the time. Guys, I feel like the sweet spot to be in when you can learn how to do this, and it's just mastery, it's just a level of practice that you consistently do all the time, is where it's like, how can I be in this world while not being of this world? It's my favorite question to ask myself when I'm recognizing that I'm like really in the denseness and thickness of humanity and being around people and like the realities of what's happening in our world. It's like, okay, wait a minute. How can I get back to a space where I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world? Because when I'm in this world, but I'm not of it, I'm actually operating out of my consciousness, which is me consciously choosing what I want to come into my energetic field, what I want to experience in my reality, what I'm going to say no to when it comes up to me, right? And it's like that question that can come back to us again and again and again, but you have to believe that that's even true in the first place, right? If I didn't believe that to be true, if I were to ask myself, how can I be in this world and not of this world? My brain would balk and be like, you are in this world, you fucking twat. What are you talking about, right? So like, you have to see the level of work that I've done on myself to get to a point where like my belief systems are fucking crystallized. Like you couldn't touch my energy if you fucking tried. And again, that's partially because I spent 4 years, right? 4 years, 5 hours a day, 6 days a week doing this type of work, energy work, reading, learning, absorbing, healing, calling my shadows out, working with healers, doing somatic based work, learning to be in my body. I literally was a person, my first healer ever that I worked with, she was like, okay, now I understand you're crying right now. Where does that sit in your body? And I was like, what the fuck do you even mean? I don't feel anything in my body. I was so disassociated, to the point to where now I look at it and it's like, no, I can tell you. It's like, oh, I feel this way and it's on the right side of my body. And that's because that's like hitting a masculine wound because that's the masculine side of your body. Oh, no, I feel this way and it's sitting over here and it's on the left side of my body, which is more of a feminine oriented wound. And that's what's actually going on. Right. And so know thyself. God, I feel like if that was the biggest spiritual belief, period, too, that also, know thyself, know thy body, know what your belief systems are, and then you can start to play with your fucking belief systems. And for me, it's like full transparency. I've never worked with a hypnotherapist. I've never worked with, even in this whole season, I'm going to be honest, I didn't work with a therapist throughout this entire season because the truth is I don't think that level of conversation was what I needed. I needed something so much fucking deeper that I know a lot of therapists lean into, but are not allowed to because of rules and regulations. And so I did a lot of this work on my own. I'm not going to lie. And I worked with a emotional freedom technique expert. I worked with a couple of somatic practitioners. And I really focused on getting inside my body and learning what my body needed, wanted, to know thyself in the first place. And I used plant medicine. I used mushrooms and sat with mushrooms a lot. I've never been a person, I had never done mushrooms in my life until I was like 34, 35. And the reason why I did it was because I wanted to meet myself in a deeper way. I wanted to understand myself and I wanted to understand God, the universe, source, through a lens that nobody talking at you is ever going to get you there, right? You need to experience it. And so through macrodosing journeys and then a 9-month operation, if you will, of microdosing, where it was, what did I just say? I just said this to somebody the other day. It was 8 weeks on, 4 weeks off, where I microdosed 4 days a week and then I had 3 days off. And I did that for 3 rounds. So it was a total of 9 months that literally reprogrammed my fucking brain. Between my conscious work that I was doing, between the healer work that I was doing in the plant medicine, it was like this trifecta that literally reoriented my belief system in a way that changed me forever. I am such an avid believer when it comes to psychedelic work and when it comes to plant medicine, really being able to take you where you want to go to a level that you can't even imagine. It's massive. And so it's like a lot of people will ask me, it's like, Kim, how did you get to where you're at? Like, do you see? Do you see? Like, it makes sense why when you hear my belief systems and where I once was and the work that I had to do and how I had to get here, like that I'm in this position now. Like this makes perfect sense as to why I got here. I reprogrammed everything about who I am. I shifted how I saw myself. I created a new self-concept because I never had a self-concept before. I just went with the flow, and whoever needed me to be, whoever needed me to be. It's why I became a teacher. I didn't even like kids, and yet I was like, sure, let me go be a teacher because everybody tells me I'm great with kids. I am great with kids, and I love my kids, like not my physical kids, but my nieces and nephews and people that are close to me and their children. It's like, yes, I love that, but like, that's not for me. And so I had to do all of this work, and I had to actually fucking challenge everything that my brain would tell at me. And anytime that it would be like, this is hard for you, this isn't going to work for you, I literally had to stack evidence in the opposite fucking direction so that I could literally be the fucking person I knew that I needed to be to create the results that I knew I wanted to create. I knew I wanted to create this level of impact. I knew I wanted to work with all sorts of women across the globe. And I knew that I wanted a massive fucking reputation because I know that when my work gets in the hands of more fucking people, I mean, imagine a world where we have so many empowered female leaders. Are you kidding me? I know that's going to change the game. You know that's going to change the game. And so therefore it's like that's my role, that's my responsibility in this lifetime. And so all of this work and the spiritual beliefs and what I did is part of the reason why I am that bitch today. So many people are so avoidant of doing this work, or they think that it's like it's too simple, it's too easy, that doesn't make sense to me. And I'm like, you guys, shut the fuck up and listen. Listen. I can't even begin to tell you. I am so privy and I'm so privileged, and I'm privy to conversations with people who are making 7 figures, 8 figures a year, some of them a month. And every single person, you want to know the common factor? We all have the same belief system. We all have the same belief system. We all believe this to be true. Everybody had to literally reorient themselves, reprogram themselves. They had to change how they were operating. They had to change what they thought was available to them. They had to do it on a fucking cellular level with not everybody, you did plant medicine, but on a cellular level because it was that deeply embodied and that deeply originally embedded. All of us had epigenetic trauma that came too, because every fucking human on the planet has it, right? You have stories and narratives and trauma that is carried from lineage and lineage to lineage, from ancestor to ancestor. Whatever happened to your grandma, it happened to you too. Right? Whatever happened to your great-great-grandma happened to you too. It's in you in some molecular tiny level. And it's like, okay, so how do we shift this? Okay, our mind is so fucking powerful. It's insane. Right now, we think that it's like the coolest thing that it does is it keeps our body alive. Okay, cool. And it also can literally give you everything you want when you use it as a tool. When you recognize that it's malleable, that you can shift it, that you can change it, but you can't be so fucking attached to who you were that you're not making space for who you're supposed to be and who you're meant to become in this lifetime. But when you do give yourself that space, when you choose this path, when you choose to become this bitch, the sky's not even the limit. Everything is available to you. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, I can do whatever the fuck I want now. And I can create whatever reality I want. Is it going to take me time? Is it going to happen instantaneously? No. Does it need to? Also no, right? Like, I'm not an impatient bitch, even though sometimes I can be an impatient bitch. And so I wanted to share with you the exact belief systems and thought processes that it took to become that bitch in the first place, because I think so many people can look at me sometimes and look at the people that are winning in my world, and they can get like kind of lost in the sauce and kind of like it's just easy for her. She was born that way. No, I was born a leader, but I was born a broke bitch leader. I was born let me save the whole fucking world and let me like people please my way to that. And like, that's not an empowered leader either. Right. And so I want to show you who you can become when you allow yourself to be this person in whatever way that looks for you. Because not everybody is going to want the exact same things that I want. But I do know that you have to become this bitch no matter what in order to get to where you want to go. End of story. All right, queens. On that note, I want you to entertain these ideas and maybe look at where you're still like negotiating between whether these are true or whether this is a reality that's available to you, and where you're still maybe holding it in an arm's length distance because it's like, oh, it's good for her and it works for her and that has got her to her path, but it's not going to be for me. Like, recognize that that's still a shadow move, recognize that's still a victim move, and fucking move through it. Because I'm telling you, I will shout it from the motherfucking rooftops. Every single woman on this planet deserves to become that bitch. Because when you become that bitch, everything, financial empowerment, financial choice, impact, reputation, the life, the way that you want to support your family and grow your family and what that actually looks like, it all becomes a hell of a lot easier to create and to navigate. And that is what I want for you. All right, you guys, I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. I hope you have a beautiful fucking week. And I will be back next week with another episode of the That Bitch podcast. Until then, I hope you slay the goddamn game. Make a bunch of fucking money this week. Do some things that scare you. Push your fucking edges and fucking slay the game. All right, bye. See ya.